So how are you?
I'm good. And how has been your week? I sent you two link of two posts. Did you see that?
Yeah. So I have started listening the recorded videos.
No, two links.
Uh,
Two,
I have seen in LinkedIn the post.
yeah.
I have seen. I think so. My experience and the skill set they have asked, na, it is quite not matching.
No, it will not 100% match, na. But no, you start also apply with that. We will arrange your resume so that it also fits. Like sometimes they don't expect it to be 100%, right? But many times they will not get people with field experience who has already implemented, right?
Yeah.
So it is always a good thing to take chance rather than like say you will apply and if you will not be selected, that is the worst thing that can happen, right?
Yes.
But your resume will go to their database. That will be the good thing. And we will actually arrange your resume so that those things, that is what we did no last week. So so maybe we can arrange those things. So you cannot come to video or something.
No.
So I had shared your CV also with one of my senior who has started work in Telangana.
Mm-hmm.
He is from Telangana. So he wants to do something on his own, no staff and nothing. So I told him about you and he was interested. So I'll just pass on his number also, just you in case. You will give my reference and just ask him what does he think. No, all by himself he cannot go far. This is
Yeah, that is true.
so he was earlier in RBL, Ratnakar Bank, and he doesn't look like the experience he has, right? He can do actually lot of things, and he doesn't say. So somebody will not know unless he speaks to just like you. No, unless somebody speaks to you properly, they will not know. So he is that kind. So you both will be very good match if you come together. So maybe you can help him with something which is like say I don't see you should get into a job and then started again doing all those things in a job. You can very well do this farmer aggregation thing and like say take it from there because nobody is there, doing in that particular space. So, anyways, like say this
So
year.
what is his good name?
His name is Hemant Balbekar. Just now I have sent his contact number to you. So you can just speak to him
Okay.
and find out what all and where all because he is connected to very lot many people at top level and he doesn't take advantage. He does his own thing and he is a very grounded person. So he is the person behind me getting to places. You know. So when I went to basics, actually they were looking for MBAs, PhDs, all those kind of people who did some field work. So I wouldn't have any chance to get into basics based on those things. So what I told you, no, he was a participant in a HR workshop where I also participated. And I didn't have HR policy of my organization because it was a very small organization. So I designed HR policy and presented. So that is how they came to know about me, and based on that only he recommended me. So yeah, so he can help a lot. If we see those profile, let me see. Let me go to LinkedIn and see the profile.
uh, 10 days.
So there are only 11 applicants so far.
Mhm.
And climate change data. Of course, this is data. What is the other one? This one is for data, the second one, Anand.
Yes.
And so that might not look very, but this circular economy is very much, like say, within your scope only. And both these are from the same company, Michael Page or something. And this is for Mumbai, Maharashtra. Did you see this?
Yeah, I'm looking into that.
Yeah. So in your CV, what we can do is we can describe your experience as to how you have contributed towards circular economy,
Okay.
and how it has helped the climate change mission, right?
Okay.
These are the two things that needs to be done. Providing advisory support to the company in achieving water neutrality. That is what you spoke in the medium term. Understanding the implication of climate hazard. You know that keeping abreast with best available technologies, policies, working in the freshwater management space, representing the company on various public policy advocacy platforms. So your work with NABARD, WTR, and as a faculty member, those three will be enough in arranging your CV into that.
Okay.
Then the second is climate change. So whatever work you have done, all that is uh, all that is around climate change. So we can actually arrange your CV according to that. So, and in the summary, we can describe what all you have done so far around these specifications, and then wherever you have done that, in whichever position, that can be explained. Right? So, did you send your CV to my email? So, did you go through that online thing that I had given you to go through?
Started.
Sorry?
I have started.
Okay, okay. So if you have any question, no, so just we can do. Otherwise, let me start with your description only.
So as of now, so I don't have any doubt regarding the video content.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Don't have any doubts regarding the
Video.
courses.
So what more would you like to have there? Like say this is um, based on my perception about what you what a working professional faces. Like say self, then people management, and our vision to the time management. Time management is in the context of our life, right? It is about life mission. So when the biggest segment we struggle with is self and people, how people perceive us, what we think about ourselves. Most of the time we think only 10% of ourselves, right? And people management also, we prove ourselves all our life, establishing that credibility, but at the end, because we don't tell much about ourselves, so people also don't develop that trustworthiness, right? So we kind of get frustrated about that. So this my endeavor is to tell you your own story, so that you know, you start having confidence within yourself towards various profile, and how anybody, whoever is working in this space, uh, leading to climate change risk mitigation, will have you, definitely have you. So where they will not have you is the level of confidence and team management. That is what they will dismiss. You know, if you are very introvert kind, then you will not be showing off how you what you all you did in the interview itself. So you don't have to tell. No? You have to tell not what you did, but how people got benefited. Right? It's the same thing you did. That is how people got benefited, and the you can describe the uh, entire project, whatever you have done. So in that manner, you are not talking about yourself, but you are talking about the project and whatever you have done. So that is why this profile I sent to you, so that you inside your mind also, you will get prepared while I prepare your resume accordingly. So that is what, and let us work with your profile a bit more.
Okay.
You told about value chain analysis a bit. Did you do something on this value chain analysis?
So value chain analysis, as we discussed earlier last week also. So
Hmm.
so complete value chain analysis I never did. So, but so we have planned to do the value chain analysis for certain crops, but methodology I don't know. So which
Okay. Okay. Value chain analysis, let us do at the beginning stage, because people who are into climate change and all these things, they cannot do the business aspect also. Na? Value chain analysis is more pertaining to the business aspect of the thing, right? So you may not do, but you, like say the crop that you had chosen, right? Those crops to because of water neutrality, right? Those who consume less water.
yes. So budget, water budgeting and crop planning.
Yes. So let us write water budgeting and crop. So I here I will give you value chain analysis methodology to be given. Here we will do water budgeting and crop plan. What all crops you chose? Which crops you chose?
It's depend on that. So if a certain area is having a water surplus or water deficit, depending upon that, so crops are prescribed. If
So water surplus, which crops?
uh, again, so depending on that market availability and the local understanding of packaging practices, the community. So depending on the availability crop, maybe we can prescribe the suitable crop. So if a certain Telangana is there,
Where you have already prescribed such crops.
so normally, so wherever we have work, most of the cases the water is in deficit. So in that case, so we prescribe them to go for pulses and cereals. Within that,
Which cereal?
cereals are again sorghum, maize,
Okay.
and pulses again pigeon pea and some oil seed crops, and we focus on more on package and practices also. Going to organic way of cultivation, so that that reduce the intake of water also, these practices. So through this organic way of cultivation, so their water consumptions will reduce.
Yeah. So when you chose like say pulses and sorghum, you might have told them what is the utility, no? Sorghum, where is the market and all?
So
Pulse.
normally, so while implementations, the marketing is not in question, because already farmers are growing these crops and the established market is there. Uh, so as we are not aggregate, we have not formulated the farmer groups and marketing, that saturation we have not achieved.
Mhm.
So once we have so for market linkages, to make a market linkages, we should have some uh, aggregation of produce. Then only we can think about. So if I'm working with the
What?
100,
So, my question is, suppose a farmer chooses pulse, right? So he knows his crop will sell.
yes. So we have worked. We have not introduced the specific crops. So
Okay. So whatever they were doing, you
whatever they are growing, our emphasis on that to reduce the excess application of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. And we so our emphasis on more on that how to reduce their input cost and optimize their production system.
okay. So I'll work on those things. So coming back to our this thing, play big, stop at nothing. So you will see in the lessons only. You are already working, so I don't need to tell you about this. But but why do we play big? Play big is something you need to work on, because you have to introduce the concept that whatever you are doing, that requires to be adopted by many farmers, right? And uh, because that comes to you naturally, and if you play small within your territory or whatever, no, end to end is of course should be there, but more players should be introduced in whatever you are doing, right? 40,000 farmers at Telangana. If you can do that, then you have to have people who can also play, like say, bring in 40,000 or 20,000 or 10,000 or 5,000 more farmer to that, right? So that is what, when you get into a bigger farm or something, that they can do, but they will introduce again some constraint on you, because of which you cannot expand. So whatever you are right now doing, like say working with 40,000 farmers, if you can introduce more and more package of practices and what all, how their input cost has been reduced, so people of the surrounding area also slowly will join, so it will become a movement, right? So whatever stage of that movement you will reach, but at least you should have that vision in your mind, right? So did we speak about the vision? So just roughly you can tell me what vision you have. They say what in just a sentence. Can you tell, they say, what is the dream that comes to your mind when you work? How many farmers? What crop? What practices? Your life, your why. What is the specific? So suppose I say that you want to make a difference in climate risk mitigation. Suppose I start writing your vision. You can correct me. Want to make a difference in climate risk mitigation by, should I write by introducing suitable package of practices to 1 million farmers reducing their input cost in enhancing productivity, leading to using the this can be one vision statement. You want to change something, add something in this.
So as of now, it appears okay. The statement is okay.
Okay. So
So,
yes, you can change.
so only my background that whether should I own it or not, that's some questions are going on me within me. Maybe.
So own that is very important, no? Why do you think that you cannot own this?
For that, at this moment, I don't have any answer. Maybe it appear to okay.
No, the ownership hesitation, no? That one I need to record so that you can work on this.
Okay.
That hesitation you have to give some shape to. It cannot be faceless.
Yes.
Otherwise, is something, ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen a
Hesitation.
ghost?
Because again, that will be climbing a wrong ladder.
Yes, that ghost is something we haven't seen, but we all are afraid of. Why? Because we haven't given it a face. The moment we give it a face, they say and describe it, it is no more a ghost. So, what hesitation is there? We need to figure this out.
Yeah.
This hesitation has to go. Then
Yes.
the second thing is internal resonance. The same thing, the hesitation, no? Here are few questions. Under an ideal situation, what would you like to do? Like these questions are just trigger questions. You can add some more questions also to know more about your hesitation. Right? So this comes, that hesitation will have answer once you answer all these questions. right? So already I am recording it. So when you get that recording, what you can do is just pause here and start with a note. Start writing something, right? So that this hesitation goes and you have the exact answer as to why you are stuck.
Yeah.
High productivity means you have enthusiasm and clarity, right? So unless you do the second slide, okay, that enthusiasm will not come because you are stuck somewhere you don't know. That might be something very practical, might be it is just your imagination, right? Wherever you are right now, whatever are the opportunity, using that opportunity only, you can just go ahead and do whatever you can, right? Job, of course, is a thing, but you have worked sufficiently long enough to know what all constraint happens at workplace, right? So wherever you will work, this will be the case. That will be the case, right? But that alternative should be in your mind also, right?
Yes.
So describe yourself high productivity and enthusiasm and clarity. Trade-off compromises. When we have to do some compromise, we actually go to the problem, right? We think about what all problem can happen whenever we are compromising. In the context of job, we are thinking about what all constraint will be there. But there will be some solution also to your thing. First of all, the money thing, where the investment would come, right? So did I tell you about my Uttarakhand experience?
Yes.
Huh. So I couldn't figure out where from that money is going to come. But that has been in my mind. Uttarakhand is not my place also. I don't know anybody personally. I don't have any relative, nothing. So my initial thing was, like say, Uttarakhand is a very scenic thing. For the Hindus, it is a very sacred place, sacred region. And so many tourists go. But people of Uttarakhand, they are migrating to Delhi and other places in search of livelihoods. The celebrities are buying, like say, properties out there. And they are keeping those people who had those land. Somebody who sold that land, he became a servant only, right? And he became a laborer only. So that hit me. People who owned those lands, they didn't have any alternative, right? So they had to sell this land and go somewhere else or become servant to somebody who has bought that property from them. So since 2015, the dream was in my mind, and recently somebody also, um, like say, so many people I have approached since 2015. Say last 7 years, I have approached many people asking them for the investment. You know, now what happened? Like say, nobody is very sure about farming. And they say farming always is a loss making proposition. So we cannot invest in farming where the return is not very sure. So who will take the responsibility? Only the farmer can take the responsibility. If the farmer is there and if you are assuring of certain return and they are not doing any farming out there because this animal devastation, right? So you cannot also ask them to do. Uttarakhand pulses are very different in taste, and so many varieties are there, but nobody is doing that. After some time, nobody will know what pulses were grown in Uttarakhand. So how do you manage that? So medicinal herbal plant was one thing. So I had a friend who was from Uttarakhand. I just got introduced in Facebook. I didn't know him before. He was saying something. He had written his background as he also worked in the same company that I worked. So I reached out to him, asking the same way that I got introduced to you, same manner. And when I was approached by somebody who is doing Uttarakhand intervention, they asked for if I can get somebody from for Uttarakhand. So I proposed his name, and he is working there since last 2 years. Now he has seen the possibility of that area, how he can approach the officials and all. So he had registered a farmer, a company in his name. And he has taken about, say, 2,500 farmers in that area. He has huge land. Just 2 months before, he didn't have this vision. He was not able to say how can I take so many farmers and all. Now his vision has broadened. Can you see? Because he has done a farmer, he has done a company, he has registered a company in which he can do multiple activities. He still doesn't have the capital, but he has that belief that farmers will be doing in small manner if he starts doing something. So I had asked him why not put something in small scale. I asked him to buy just one chandan tree and two black pepper plant, no, and put it there. Same time they cannot grow. Chandan has to be high enough to accommodate the creeper. Black pepper is a creeper. So we can start with just 100 rupees, 300 rupees in pocket. Can you see this? So that is what I am trying to say. Start from there, because your insight will attract lot many farmers. And if you can do, you were saying in the first meeting that we had, you were saying about backward and forward linkage. If somebody does that, you know the market is there. Just aggregate that and attract a bigger buyer like Reliance, Big Basket, and anybody. Arrange those farmers. It is like, say, you have been doing, you are not a new face to the farmer. So all the farmers actually trust you. If the buyback happens, then it is a win-win situation for the farmer as well as the uh, buyer, right?
Okay.
Think in that term, and then you can take 1% as the facilitator fee. That can be your income with which, and you can 1% in 1% from the market linkage will be huge if you aggregate 40,000 farmers, right? So just take 1%, save 9% for the farmer purpose, so that the purpose also increases, and the farmer knows that whatever he sells, he gets a portion of it as a return also, right? It is a huge responsibility, but and slowly, of course, there will be other organizations who will be coming. But you, if you have the trust of this 40,000 farmers, it is a huge asset. Social capital you were saying, na?
Yeah.
First thing was the trust, right? So if this is something is in your mind, then when you are appearing for these interviews, these people will ask you what What stops you from doing this? So have something in mind also as the next next thing. What stops you?
So keeping in that mind only, so we have promoted and reached out 40,000 farmers, and the we are in interaction. We are interacting with them,
Yes.
and we are slowly form them into a smaller group. And as I already explained in the last discussion that so so market linkage is a long-term goal while interacting with them, keeping in that focus and sustainability. So
Hmm.
we are getting a fund to enhance their income, livelihood, income of that particular households as a part of program interventions. And at the same time, as I have working with the non-profit organizations,
Hmm.
and my assumption, strong assumption is that so we build the capacities of our team member, and we do invest our human capital there, and we do the project for 5 to 6 years.
Hmm.
After completion of the projects, we left that leave the project because of the fund crunch. So I thought that why can't we do, and many of the organization like Myrada and all, they are Myrada and Dhan Foundation, they come up with a tank approach, and they have built a social capital. They have while our farmer groups, they used to form the groups, and gradually next 5 years, 6 years, they build the trust, and slowly they start making a market linkages.
Hmm.
So that was the idea. So once our human resources are there, and they have worked 5 to 6 years, how to make it self-sustainable.
Hmm.
So by the time of the project, post project, during the post project, so if you're going to form the FPOs, small encompassing with the project area. So at least if you do the market linkages, as you said, that 1% of overall transaction cost, whatever may be, so that can be sustain the local team there.
Yes.
Continuity is also there, and win-win for all of us.
Hmm.
Farmers will also get that some benefit in terms of aggregation and value addition,
Hmm.
and the local staff. So
Hmm.
they have spent their 5 years time to the project. After completion of projects, they are jobless. They
Hmm.
can't be transferred with their meager salary,
Hmm.
and again they will go to the square one.
Hmm.
And with that objective only, so we have I brought the concept of farmer group, and the two-tier approach, so that first tier will going to give that these things, extension related services. The aggregation will be happen with the uh, aggregation of farmer itself, and the value addition, not value addition, that aggregation of produce. So it will begin with the aggregation of produce, then farmer will realize that 10 to 15% margin they are getting because of aggregation of product. Then slowly we can build and value additions, maybe we can process and uh, grade or whatever maybe. So again that step will begin. So that idea only I have begin with that. Maybe it is a slow process. Maybe it's step by step. We can't jump and directly we can say that we can directly do the market linkages, because we also work with the group of farmers. They maybe they will test us. Why should they believe us? So building the trust is also, it is a process.
So Foundation, what stage they have left? Why they have left? We can.
No. I'm quoting the example that I have referred while formulating so our strategy in Telangana. So
Uh,
Dhan, wherever Dhan works, they work on group concept. So so they work in that particular year, next 15 years, 20 years, like that. They will not leave that area, and they build the trust. So now you can see that wherever Dhan Foundation promoted FPOs, they are more successful because they have already working with that particular community past decade.
Yes. Now, wherever these POs are there and they have been successful, they have been successful in enhancing their productivity and all that. Now, the requirement for you is there because there is one aspect of climate risk,
Yeah.
because they cannot go adding to whatever crop they are doing the same thing, which is bringing the risk of greenhouse gas, right?
Yes.
So the next step is there, but you have to have these matured FPOs along with you so that you don't have to do the same thing again and again. Along with maybe Dhan Foundation is the Dhan Foundation and Myrada. These and also ISA Small Finance Bank, do you know? They also promote a lot of POs, right? So this is where you can like say ask them, because they have already worked with several FPOs for several years. You can introduce the climate risk agenda, right?
Mm.
So these are the three places where the CV can be sent with climate risk agenda. So big players will think about this. Unavoidable limitations. We'll talk about this later. Vision, highest expectation. So without thinking twice, can you say in terms of money, what what would be the goal, short term and also long term? What will you do with the money? How to work more on water budgeting as well as climate risk, right? You can write on your own without telling me also. So when you read this next slide, what comes to your mind? Proactiveness, be the first person.
So whenever mm, the whenever the flagging of the issue related to the climate change and farmer linking the farmer, so I will be the first person to flag the issues and come up with the solution.
So for your interview purposes, you have to write in here. So you have to keep in mind, or because nobody knows about whatever you will tell, right? They will ask further questions only. So you can easily explain. I think so. So three solutions you need to keep in mind whenever you are talking about this. Why your CV will be very different, right? So this is one. Then what do you think about this persistence? So whatever you are passionate about, you will persist. So climate change is, as far as I think, climate change is your is the number one passion for you. Is that so? Something else? Climate change risk mitigation.
Yeah.
Or something else is in your mind, which you love to do.
Soil organic content.
Soil, turning the soil organic, right?
Water.
Will do. Just you need to do how the two how point two is linked to point one. That is all you need. थोड़ा सी बढ़ जाओ जिससे this might not be relevant to you right now, but if you think there is a relevance, you can put.
So if I aiming to seek the employment with the CSR organizations, so for them, so I don't have this compliances requirement. So for the compliances part, so I don't have any experience. So however, as I have a implementation experience and how the project will be successful, the operational part of that I can easily handle. So whereas the person who seek the CSR rule, he's more on that compliances requirement, and so if I want to be in the same sector, however, want to make a more impact, so uh, so my immediate sector could be that CSR one. Because when I see that job description related to the particular this role, they have some set of compliances requirements, so some set of norms, compliances norms they used to follow. Maybe that is not a big deal, but as of now, I don't know exactly what is that.
So whatever their compliances will be, it is not a big deal because they will be, it is a routine thing.
Hmm.
And it is not a big thing. So you are thinking that compliances are huge. No, is the assumption actually. That is what you are thinking. Compliances is not a huge thing. See, compliances is where the seniority is based out of. Why? Because they have to deal with the outsiders, the government, the complying agencies, all those people. These people don't deal with what the operation is doing, the implementation, right? So the operation implementation is never thought of as the senior position. Senior positions are always compliances and handling the team. Everything is in order, all those things, which I understand that you don't have any, like say, passion for, or you don't like doing all those things. Waste, you might be feeling that it is a wastage of time. But that again, in CSR, that is a limitation. But if you say completely, I'm not interested in compliances, don't say that. That is a dangerous phase. Dangerous.
No, no, I don't, I'm not saying that compliances is as any project, so we require the compliances.
No, no, they require, but you taking responsibility of compliance, you should include the compliance part also, part in your responsibility, because they will not keep another person for the same thing, for a very small thing, but the other person needs to understand whatever you are doing. Na? Can he understand?
No, no, compliances for CSR, all these things, they required some certification, some standards. So that I don't know. Maybe that, for example, for ISO standards, for complying under ISO standard, they have to follow the set of some rules. Again, emission, they have some set, the protocol. So that protocol, I don't know. So that's that I want.
What is there? That protocol only, certification is different part, different thing. Suppose only you are able to know the protocol.
Mhm.
Just know the protocol, learn the protocol only. Learn the protocol, ISO standards, all this. You just give yourself a reading somewhere, Google it and know it.
Yeah.
So that is all. That is all should be required in this thing. Then power equation, of course, not required in your case. But if you think that, because these are for people now who are in work and they are getting, they are having tussle with their colleagues and seniors, right? So what I teach here is, like say, suppose there are two people in the same position. So there is always a tussle between them regarding who is more powerful. So here, what I suggest is whatever you are good at, you should have control over that, and shift your attention from that tussle to your strength. So that is what I mean. Shift the attention from the tussle to the strength area. So you are there because of your strength, not because you are good or worse than somebody. The other person has his or her relevance. So, and one more about the segment we are dealing with. Give positive feedback to the colleagues, rectify come up with a solution to the missing aspect, compliance aspect, helping them to look good, better, and forget the health you stay to. These are the things helpful for power equation and control. That is your area. Shift the attention from that tussle and help them if they are asking, because you cannot just segregate yourself from away from somebody. So maybe is this your characteristic, Anand? Procrastination?
No.
Huh?
Procrastination.
Like say you start only when it is perfect for you.
Not like that.
No. So what are the things you was thinking of starting right now? Or
Please,
you have started and you need to take the second step?
I'm not getting.
What are the things that you are engaged right now where the second step needs to be taken? Let's see the next step.
The first step, as I said that, so I'm seeking opportunities, and before that, so I want to upgrade myself. So as part of that, so I have reached out to you, and at the same time, so beginning of the today's interaction, you said that understanding self is a very difficult part. So maybe I may spend more time on that, so that the perfect vision uh, could be defined. So
Not
that
for the moment. Like say it keeps on changing, right? It might change after some time. it might get better.
Yeah.
So for today, whatever is perfect for you, if you define, then it will be easier for you to connect, integrate all the experience that you have. Anyways, think over this because this will go to you. Self-sufficiency, being resourceful. Suppose nothing happens. No, nobody right now at this moment of time, nobody responds to you in a positive manner, right? Of course, you will design your CV in 10 different ways, pertaining to the requirement of the agencies wherever you are applying. But suppose nothing happens immediately in the next 2 months.
So no worry.
No worries. Okay, so how do you say no worries? What all you will keep doing?
So as I said, so I'm more focusing on the building my capacities. So begin with understanding self. For that also I am doing meditation, yoga, and approaching organization. So next 10 days, begin with 6, I am going for Vipassana training programs, and following that. So as you have shared me the course, but did not do that because some unjustly is there. But in terms of made a mind that next 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, so no issue to me. Maybe in between, so maybe my old organization, if they ask for any consultancy for a week or 2 days, not 100%. So my priority for next 2 3 months will be the building the capacities. So upgrading myself. So I feel that I am very poor in managing time. So that anyhow by through your post that can be I can understood. And second thing is that I feel that I have feel that. Uh, I'm documentation, the writing part. I feel that I need to improve more. Yeah. So for that also, I will also on. There are many courses I have browsed it, and maybe I can uh, complete and overcome these things. Maybe writing a blog on different the relevant topics, which may be interested to me, like climate change, FPOs, and maybe like that. So maybe I have to practice on that.
Yeah. So okay, this blog thing is blogging.
Not blogging. Maybe so far that so I need to do that the review, in-depth review of literature, all these things. Come up with my own uh, these things article on the thematic area. Like FPOs are there. So if I browse the FPOs and come up with the come up some advice, maybe some this learning. So it is not like that in Telangana alone, the NABARD has promoted more than 1,000 FPOs. So the success rate is very less. So what is these things? Reason for that? Maybe that could be the one blog or article. Maybe there are several these things, and government of India they want to do that zero emission, zero carbon neutral these things, and there are a few article on that through MGNRGS program they want to achieve it. So on that maybe I can do the review and these things, and maybe come up with some these things. How could be going to achieve, and what could be the area, how, where are that area of improvement. Maybe
Yes.
These are the thoughts I'm telling you, and I thought that I can write down that attrition rate in the development sectors. So that is a huge. So why it is happening, and there is some way we can contain it. So one things are happening, and there is also way to reduce the percentage. And there is a huge crunch in development sector related to the human resource. We don't get the people the requirement as per the requirement. And if you brought the talent, they will never stay with us. And who with the less expectation, that they require improvement in skill.
Yes.
That has been absorbed by me in the while working. Maybe constructively, maybe I'm thinking too much, doing nothing. That is my worry now. So filter it and do very specifically and productivity.
So I'll tell you, thinking too much and doing nothing, doing less. So here, in place of blogging, wherever you are seeing a blog, right? They ask for opinions, right? So what you can do is, you can put your remark out there. Everybody asks for some feedback, right? Comment, everybody.
Okay.
So you can start commenting, and then if you have a website or any place where you can write, what you can do is refer that article and your comment and further elaborate on that. So it becomes an article.
Yeah.
With the person who is whose article was there, his reference also will be there. Then people will start reading what you have to say. That way, your authority will be established.
Yeah, true.
What you can do also is, I have a this thing website called Green Bandhavgarh, where I had worked earlier, right? And I also have kind of outlined all my experiences. Maybe you can start writing there or anywhere. You just start. Whenever you think of say writing something or putting your opinion, just make sure that you read the article and you have like say, it is not always required that you write the original articles, original blog. If you are commenting also usefully, the author will also appreciate and look forward to your comments, and that will go a long way in establishing your authority. Yes, these are all very good ideas. And wherever you are getting stuck, then you also, I can help you with. What about your characteristic with regard to dependency? What do you think about dependency?
So, so I'm not getting the exactly what you intended to ask here. Leverage framework.
Yes. Dependency is, suppose you have a team of 10 people, or say suppose two colleagues are there mm, who are supposed to complement each other, right? So you have to take help of that person. That is leveraging. And for certain things, you ask that person only. You don't start doing yourself. Can you see the difference? That way, you don't have to start having that proficiency all by yourself. You are engaging another person also, thereby saving time and achieving more.
So as far as me concerned, maybe when a operational part field requirement is there, so I used to take myself because I am expert in that, and whenever and the budgeting and defining the interventions and any government requirement is there, so I used to take care. And whenever the reporting and the documentation, so I need to delegate this work, and so if that person is not there, so I used to do.
Mm.
So maybe dependency for formulating the writing part, so I am quite dependent. So and I want to reduce this dependency.
Oh, so you're you want to reduce dependency. So here is my take. Don't reduce dependency, right? But leverage whoever does that well. How can you do that?
Yeah, delegation, the person who is the right to do at a right time. So that way I am doing. So however, so because as we working with the small organization, so maybe multitasking is the question. So uh, that luxury of leveraging is not with us. So maybe, so that was the reason, so I said that so I want to reduce my dependency.
So reporting and documentation is a senior management job.
Hmm.
It cannot be delegated. So this work don't delegate ever.
Okay.
But you can take the help of a person who writes well,
Okay.
because what you write will be from the field observation. It is the first hand information that nobody can substitute. Right? How to present that in a report is a senior manager's quality.
Okay.
But making it into a good English, that can be done. We are not authors, na?
Yeah.
We are not writers, authors. So that can be done. Reporting and documentation you cannot delegate, so don't do. But proofreading you can delegate. When somebody, like say, brings better phrases, reduces your long sentences into smaller ones, that is what proofreading is.
That proofreading, so I used to do. So second thing is that whenever the some person is come up with the reporting, so while submission, so my emphasis is that the ownership has to go with that particular person, so that he can be recognized, so that he can be stay longer with the organization. So
So yeah. No, but not with wrong delegation, right? That person can stay suppose somebody is there who is good with reporting and documentation, and he is not good with operation because you are doing operation mainly, then actually you have to let that person go. What I am saying is proofreading is an external thing to your kind of work. Can you see that? Suppose you write a report, okay?
Yeah.
You write a report and it has to be corrected only by your senior, not a junior. Right? And that person, if you want to recognize him for his communication skill, then you can recognize that person. Okay. But for that, he will not be in your team. Your team is not about communication skill building. Again, the network listening, wherever he is doing great, that is again senior manager's job.
Okay.
This person can be, suppose you are taking an intern kind of thing, those people can do this thing. And afterwards they go, they gain experience with you and they improve the English and other things. That is all they need to do. Right?
Okay.
Then Pareto rule, 80-20 rule. This rule means, because you are saying that you are bad with time management, what I'll say is, whenever you have a to-do list for the day, entire day, see how long it is. How many items is there in your to-do list every day? Do you make a to-do list?
No.
So suppose you start making from tomorrow. How long it will be, you think?
So many items will come and we set the priorities.
Just give it a number. How many?
So when I did, so it will be 10, 15, more than 20 like that. Again, we set the priorities and we take it up.
Yeah. So suppose it is say more than 10. Suppose let us take 10, right? Out of 10, there will be 20 items as such which will produce 80% of result.
80% of?
20% of whatever you do. So out of 10, 2 are such which will produce 80% of result.
Hmm.
So your job is to focus on those 2.
Mm-hmm.
What will you do with the rest 8? Now, with those rest 8, you have to think which one to delegate, right? So 70% of those gets delegated to 7, like say 6 to 7 items will be delegated to your team. They will do. Why? Because that requires routine work. Very urgent, important also, but routinely done. So give it to your team. That means you also need to train your team to do those things. You don't have to do.
Yes.
Rest 10% of your time should go in training them to do this, right? So if you take your day at 100%, 80% of your time goes in planning, how to plan, how to do it better, who to delegate, who to train, who to approach, what time to approach, so that that person also has time for you. All these things plan. I'll tell you my experience. It is just at work. If you watch your wife, if she decides what to cook next morning, then she cooks faster. If she starts the decision in the morning itself what to cook, then she takes lot of time. Same with me. So if you decide previously, plan whatever prior to the work, if you plan, then the work gets executed pretty fast. So plan, spend time, spend 80% of your time in planning. Let me write something. 80% of your time in executive activities. In this, there comes planning. 20% of your time in planning. So that means you will save 4 times this. Suppose you spend 1 hour in planning, then you will save 4 hours, right, in a day. The second is anticipating what is going to come for certain preparation of it. What do I mean by that? You know that there will be reports periodically, every quarter or something. Every 15 days, wherever you travel, your logistics have to be deposited, to be submitted, right?
Yes.
So all those things, you know it will happen. So you have to put a design. You don't have to, each time you have to design the Excel sheet and all. Make an Excel sheet, put there, just you have to change the dates, the places, the structure has to be there. Wherever you have traveled and whatever work and whatever amount you have spent, just you need to change that. So it will take very less time. So anticipation is that. You have to write reports. You have to have that structure set in the beginning, so that you don't have to do all over again every quarter. So every report will have different structures. Quarterly reports will be something. 6 monthly reports will be something. Although they will be similar in most of the cases, but in quarterly thing, only the quarter, whatever activities have happened, you have to report. 6 monthly report means 2 quarters you have to report. So you have to keep those data also, right? 2 quarter data also. That is anticipation. So keep data of, so this is keep data of previous quarters. Keeping the Excel sheets ready, preparing report formats beforehand, training calendar, tour calendar, all these things you need to keep from beforehand, right? So these are very important but not urgent. So anticipate and keep them ready so that you are not firefighting at the end. Got it?
Yeah.
So this will be kind of 50% of your entire time. Then 70%. Third is it's not coming, so let me. Training the staff. Empowering them to do the delegated task. That is 5%. Another 5% is learning and updating yourself. Right? Done? Okay. Any question out here?
So 20 plus 50 and 10. So
No. Just a minute. This is the first task. You have to identify your tasks which are super important.
okay.
So only spend your day doing this 20% only. From your to-do list, pick up those two only which you will do the entire day. Others have to be delegated, done later, whatever, in a day. And in a day, what all you need to do, 80% of whatever you do is executive activities. And what is executive activities? Plan 20% of time. Every day, plan. So when you start your day, plan what all you will do in that day. Delegating also is a work, no?
Yeah.
So what all you do, if you plan, so going to office, then doing all these things and do this thing, that is all planning. It comes to your head, what all you have written, right? You will see that in your to-do list also, those things already are there in your mind, not to be done physically. It is done in the mind, right?
Yeah.
So once you are done with that, then you'll be pretty fast with delegating. So you delegated, and then you don't, while delegating, you don't have to think ki, "Arey, what task this person has to be given, what task this." No, because you have planned, you will at once you will give. Like say when you go to office, you ask for a 10 minutes meeting. Everybody, you have your tea. Go with tea cups and assign all the tasks and done in 10 minutes. And then You are left with all the time in the world at office. What you do? If you are not going to field, then what you are doing? You are gathering all that you have done, writing about that. All these are there, no? Whatever I have written, you keep yourself prepared for all the emergencies, so that once the last thing comes from field, within one day your report is ready, because the structure is ready. Because the structure is ready, you know what all data you require from everybody in the team, right? Now you, if you have a tour calendar, you know when you are going to visit field. Sometimes it will be emergency, those emergencies will be there, but not all the time it is emergency, na?
Yes.
So if you are taking time to take approval of senior management or getting the advance, all those take time. So if you know, you just give a tour calendar and say that these are to, you get one approval for all those things. And then whenever you are going, your whatever logistic is to be arranged, it will be arranged, because you are not losing time in getting approval, right? Done. So think over it and prepare your day. And if you are thinking that somewhere you are getting stuck according to this proposition, then also we can discuss, right? Prioritization. What is the priority? That depends on this, depends on the vision. Most people think that this depends on urgency. If you go to office, somebody says, "Arey, this thing needs to be done today." This urgency doesn't come. If the previous slide, if you are doing all right, there is no urgency in your life.
Yeah, true.
You are only working for your vision. And in that vision, now because you are not doing like say bazaar jana hai, sabji lana hai, sabji pakana hai, all these things, you are free with whatever you want to do in life. So clutter is clear. And now you know certain things are there which cannot be done before something else, right? So now you can prioritize what is first, what is second.
Yes.
So give a practical example where this you have implemented, and this slide will be ready. So next time you will tell me that slide. Third is establishing credibility. Already you have established credibility, but not many people know. Even in WOTR, they didn't agree to your raised whatever no compensation that you are asking. Why? Because you never told about yourself to anybody, and that he will come back to them today or tomorrow. That is what also they know. So this is hampering your dignity factor. Credibility, as you are saying that you will do blogging. In all your life, did you do any blogging? You thought you were poor in writing, so you didn't do any writing also. See the story. How does your English phrase matter when you are doing something extraordinary? Implementing and helping the farmer grow and enhance his productivity. Uh, how much writing, Victorian writing, can do that? Still, you underplayed yourself, right? So that is all the implementers and people who execute do that mistake. Not you alone. Me also do the same mistake. Just the difference is I speak a lot, and I'm a firebrand. When I speak a lot and very sharp. I'm very sharp tongued. You are not. So you lose on both counts. No? So when people ask me to write, I write also. When people ask me to 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 present something, I present also. Write, so there is no issue. And in addition to that, I am a sharp tongued person. But 90% of time I don't speak. If there is no requirement, I don't speak. Right? People may downplay that. Also, I need to improve on that also. Less of sharp tongue and write more and present more. So that is what I'm learning. So what I'm telling you is not to be sharp tongue, but be very sharp with your writing. Blogging is a very good idea. You don't need much time. You just Google some of the article of big people, and just under that you just give your opinion. That will do your work, and they give a damn to what English you are writing. They will just take your opinion. What does it matter? How does it matter? And what is more important, right? So take to blogging more often. Give opinion to big authors, blogs. Write an article in LinkedIn and link it to the blog where you have commented. You understood this?
So
You are,
first half is understood. Link it to the blog where maybe I can use the hashtag to that.
hashtag is another thing. Hashtag also you can use. Let me write. Hashtags. So what you can do is, as you are saying, that you can write one article, you write one article and give reference of that author's blog.
Huh.
That you have read X's article on this, and he has these good ideas. Again, you write, and you can read my comments. That link also wherever you have commented, put that link, and then go on writing. So people will read your article. Plus, because you have you and also come back to that blog again, and there your articles link should also go. So start doing it, then I'll help you with.
Okay.
Work scheduling effectiveness. So I think it is time, or do you have time for another one? Effectiveness, work scheduling. Should we do this, or should we do it next week?
Maybe so I don't have any priority right now. So next week, maybe next 10 days up to 17th. So as I said that I'm going for this Vipassana program. So where don't have any access to even the handset.
Yeah. Anyways, doesn't matter. So, um, like say I'll be preparing your CVs, 4 CVs according to whatever I find, right?
Okay.
Opportunity. And I'll make it accordingly to those profiles, and once you are back, you can send those along with the cover letter, right?
Okay.
Okay. So that is what we can do. And the business plan also, I didn't have time to go through to send you. So maybe you are once you are back, then we can work on that also.
Okay.
Okay. And who has drawn this Krishna thing on the wall?
So it is a paint. No, it is a sticker.
Okay, okay. Nice one.
Yeah.
Okay then, Anand.
Thank you.
You'll be receiving the recording of this one, right? So that you can work on this. Okay.